Welcome to another Spreadsheeters video guide. You can find written instructions for these steps on the Spreadsheeters website. In this video, we'll see how to separate numbers in Excel. Excel is widely used for its spreadsheet capabilities, but it also has a number of functions that you can use to manipulate and format text. Very often when you're cleaning data, you will need to separate out elements of the text. For example, if you're trying to clean up something like transcripts of customer feedback or audio transcripts, you will very often need to perform data cleaning operations, which include extracting certain information from text. So in this example, I have a list of employee appraisals in which the employee code is included within the text. I want to extract the employee code out into a separate column so that I know which employee this text relates to. So in Excel, this can be done by stringing together a number of functions. We will look at each function one by one and build it into a formula. Now, the first step is to convert this into an array. An array is a series of values. So to do that, I will use the row and indirect functions. So I will say row and indirect, and I want to build an array with one column, and it should have as many, the length of the array should be the length of the text. So I enter the details here. This is going to build an array which has one column and as many rows as there are characters in the text, and say enter. So now you can see that an array has been built. This goes up to about 115 because there are 115 characters in this text. Now the next step is to replace each character each element of this array with the characters in the text. So to do that, I will use the mid function. So I will say mid and pick up this text. Now it will start with this array, and I want to place one character within each element of the array and say enter. Now you can see that each one of these characters have come into this array. Now the next step is what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this by 1 because I'm interested in extracting only the numbers and I'm not interested in the characters. So I'm going to multiply this by 1 and say enter. And now wherever there's a character, an error message appears and only the numbers remain intact. So now that this is done, I will introduce the error handling to replace the errors just with a blank. For that, I will use the if error function. So I'm saying if there is an error in this formula, then just put a blank. This is indicated by double quotes and enter. Now you can see that the array has only blanks and only the numbers are displayed. So the final step is to collapse the array back into a single string. So for that, I will use text join. And the first argument here is the delimiter, which I can ignore because I don't need it. Now the next argument is asked whether to ignore empty cells. I'm going to say true because I want to ignore all the cells that used to have characters and are now empty. And then this is the text that has to be collapsed. So I can close the brackets and say enter. And now you can see that the only the numbers have been extracted. I can then drag this down to the rest of the column and the numbers alone are extracted from each one of these rows. So this is a slightly lengthy formula, but once you understand it, you can adapt it for other uses as well, such as extracting special characters and things like that. So this is how to separate numbers in Excel. Please read the appended article for further guidance.